We do have this one pulled up, and it's not funny. And I'm kind of like reluctant to pull it up because we're laughing here, we're making fun of people, and now we have this story where it's like the world's gonna end. Check this out. From The Guardian, U.S. joins Germany in sending tanks to Ukraine as Biden hails united effort. President lands unflagging commitment to Ukraine as officials approve 31 M1 Abrams tanks to add to Germany's 14 Leopard 2 A6s. Is this World War III? I mean, you don't got to call it World War III, but I mean, NATO is at war with Russia. This is not Ukraine. I mean, we are the ones.
It's fair. It's fair to say it's escalation.
I mean,
I mean, Russia says it's World War III, right?
Definitely.
They already used that term. They're already.
Well, their TV personalities all over Russia are saying we're in World War III already. One guy came out again. It's like the fifth time some TV personality has done it and said, "Fire the nukes already. Just start firing nukes."
The fact that there's tanks being given to Ukraine, that is going to be justification to the Russians to escalate. They're going to say that NATO is escalating because it's Germany and the U.S. They're going to look at it, and France. They're going to look at it like an escalation, and they're going to do something. There will be some response. Every time we do anything that helps Ukraine, Russia takes that as an attack on them, and they use that as justification to do more things. So I don't know what their strategy is.
Are we really helping Ukraine by prolonging the war, then?
I don't think so, but that's just me.
It's a question of are we preventing Russia from taking more control of Ukraine? Is that help? I kind of think the U.S. I'll look at it this way: Ukraine is a border country with Russia.
Right.
The United States is on the other side of the planet, and the U.S. is sending weapons and agitating. Imagine if Russia was sending weapons to Mexico, and then like cartels were attacking the southern border and trying to take stretches of the Rio Grande or something.
Well, Russians are the black people of white people.
What does that mean? You're laughing, but I don't even know what it means.
Vladimir Putin's like, I got to talk to this guy.
They're the out group.
No, I mean, look, woke people say Slavic people are people of color.
Yeah, well,
so I guess technically you're right.
Like, even look at it from a resource perspective. You know, Russia's the Africa of Europe. They're very mineral rich, right? Like oil, like
very big.
Yeah,
very cold though.
Yeah. So if you look at how Africa is treated, Russia's getting the Africa treatment. We got to go in, we got to colonize, we have to take your assets, and we have to divvy it up. It's just beautiful communism.
You think we're going to go into Russia too? You think the U.S. goes into Russia?
When you say into Russia, right? It's first thing now we have to understand what colonizing. What you first do is you colonize the culture. And as we talked about before, you discredit the witness, so you discredit the current culture, you make Putin look bad, you make the culture, and then you attack the root of Russia, which is Orthodox Christianity. They're already attacking that. So there's a cultural colonization that's happening. And if you can uproot that, everything else sort of falls into place. But Russia is definitely a target of some group of people on this planet, most of them running financial institutions, I believe, because they're the same ones behind situations like FTX, right? Large financial institution pumping into, Epstein. And then I ain't say that, you said that. But we saw the financial institutions that were involved in the FTX election, Ukraine triangle. You see what I'm saying? But there's always been that sort of history between America and Russia. For example, when we talk about the Civil War, the North had Russia as an ally. So there's always been that tie, right? Also,
I mean, they had Britain too, didn't they?
No. That was the South had France and Britain against them.
Against them. Right. You said the North had Russia against them.
Had Russia with them.
With them. Yeah. But then France and the UK were with the North as well.
South.
The UK and France were with the South.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, they were like playing both sides, right? Trying to see who came on
absolutely.
top.
Yeah.
They were selling stuff.
Grifting,
I think actually, I think the South was trying to sell cotton to the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah. Right. So there was some of that, and Russia comes in and plays this role as, hey, we're going to be the great equalizer of some sort. And that's how we get the whole exchange of Alaska, because they own that. And that's how that thing happens, right?
Correct.
But you got to remember, Russia was a world superpower under Nicholas, right? That was before the Russian Revolution came about. And who financed the Russian Revolution? I can't say on here, but everybody knows who did that. Right. So you see this tie of money behind all these things. Real quick, this is from my book, The Patriot Report, Unmasking the Conspiracy of Money and War, available now on Amazon and hotepjesus.com. But I've tracked back, this whole thing about the central banking system, whatever. But I always see Russia pop up. And I see Russia as being the one place that this financial elite has not quite conquered. So I think they want to cripple it and then, slowly grab its resources.
If you take a look at the history of the region with the Middle East, with Europe, one big component, which it's interesting because I hear in the media they're reporting it's a conspiracy theory. It's the natural gas monopoly. It's Gazprom. It's Nord Stream. It's the Qatar-Turkey pipeline. I talk about it all the time because it's like I think it's the key to what's happening. Mm-hmm. NATO wants to get cheap energy into Europe. Europe demands it. Syria says no. The U.S. is very fortunate that Syria then goes into civil war. And of course, we oppose the Assad regime, who said outright, we will not let you build the Qatar-Turkey pipeline. And conveniently wanted to build an alternate pipeline that would do the same thing, strengthening Russia's energy monopoly in Europe. And then all of a sudden you get Burisma with Joe Biden, former CIA director, and these interests working for an energy company in Ukraine. Nord Stream 2 blows up. You didn't just smash a stink bug, did you?
Yeah,
You're going to regret that. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to smell real bad now.
Them Chinese bugs.
It is. But you can't smash them, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like ammonia here in a minute.
Yeah, it smells like ammonia. Is that what it is?
It said like we read something today that smells like cilantro. It doesn't smell like cilantro.
No, it's gonna smell real bad though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
released
ammonia.
this oil.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it might be
Why
good
they
for
called
you.
stink bugs, man?
Yeah, they're called
Yeah.
stink bugs.
Oh, that's what they call those?
That's
Yeah.
stink
I
bugs.
call it the Chinese bugs.
They are Chinese bugs.
Right.
Yeah, they came over here in the 70s or whatever, and you can't get rid of them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we called.
we looked it up. It's 1996. When they said it
Oh,
was.
96. Well,
Yeah.
we called the exterminator. Spraying does nothing.
Yeah.
Because in China they have wasps that eat them, but you don't have wasps here.
Yeah, there's no
Right.
natural predator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Anyway, we're talking
Anyway.
about Nord Stream 2. Then Nord Stream 2 blows up,
Yeah.
and then Russia. They blame Russia for blowing up their own pipeline, and it's like,
Yeah, Putin did it.
yeah. So the whole thing is. It's interesting because the argument made about why the EU needs to exist is to compete with China. That's what they say. They say they want to create a powerful economic bloc that can compete with China because China's growing so rapidly. I call BS on that. Joe Biden was involved in selling natural gas from Louisiana to China with Hunter Biden. That was just revealed in the Hunter Biden laptop story. Exclusive emails released. Daily Mail covered the story. Joe Biden, there's an email saying, I've organized a meeting for Joe and Hunter to do the sale, and it was natural gas from Louisiana to China. Why are we selling energy to China? So they say Europe wants to compete with it. I call BS. I think it's ideological. I think it is control. I think you got a bunch of powerful interests in the United States went to China and said, what you're doing with this communism using market systems dictatorship is what we want to do. So the United States has been trying to implement Chinese-style communism here and in other countries. It's a lot more than just that. I don't think it's so simple. I think energy absolutely plays a role. They do want to get cheaper energy into Europe. They do want lower energy costs. But Russia is their principal villain, not China. China has the ideology they like. Russia doesn't.
What's the incentive for Biden and the rest of these guys to go along with the Chinese agenda? Are they thinking about themselves, or is there some...
I think what you basically have is there's evil people who do things for ideological reasons, who employ selfish, psychotic individuals who do things for personal reasons.
Okay.
So Joe Biden's the kind of guy who says, I'm going to sell energy to China, everyone else be damned. And then you have ideologues who are like...
Who are they?
The ideologues?
Yeah.
It's hard to say who is they, though, right?
Who is they?
Who is they, though?
Yeah,
It's hard to say because the
Matter of fact,
chat
I'm walking out of here, man.
We made it an hour in, everybody. He's the new record holder.
So the reason I say it's hard to say is not that it's a censorship question and people expect me to say like Jews or something. No, I'm talking about like the Davos group.
Okay.
Powerful corporate interests. These are people of all different backgrounds. You can call them global elites. You can call them CEOs. But it's hard to quantify exactly how you group these people, other than it is the people of means and power around the world who don't want to lose it, who birds of a feather flock together. They have
Be
meetings,
big business.
big business, big government, all that kind of stuff.
Big lizard.
Maybe even lizards. Yeah, we don't know. But a lot of people say the World Economic Forum, the Davos Group, and it's like that's simplistic. That's where a lot of the
That's where the employees hang out.
Yeah, I would say, some people have said like it's the Illuminati as a catch-all term for powerful global interests. I'd say that it is a semi-emergent phenomenon, meaning I don't think that there is like the order of the Illuminati, that actually meets and sits down at their meeting with a big sign that says Illuminati. What I think it is a hydra. You've got all these big corporations. They are interested in maintaining that power. And that power is maintained through rigid control of the planet, which means, Henry Kissinger, I think Ian points out, limited warfare, meaning they want some war. They sell weapons. They don't want no war. So there's a degree of control they have to have in a lot of things. They don't have total control, though. They're just special interests. And the reason I say semi-emergent is emergent meaning a phenomenon that happens over time naturally. And I say only semi, because you certainly have powerful special interests who will meet and say, hey, we need to move these tanks. What are we doing? It's like, sell them in Ukraine. Let's get a conflict up. I mean, look at the stock for the companies that operate this stuff. Now, I'm not saying definitively that conspiracy theory is true. I'm saying there absolutely are powerful CEOs who meet with government officials and say, we've got to move shirts out of this country. What can we do? And the government says, look, we'll work.
I have this beautiful war laid out for you.
Maybe that's a little far, but I'll give a shout out to Matt Gaetz, who said, I said, you're going to get a bill to break up big tech, and then they're going to get put options on. He goes, that actually happened. They had a bill moving through Congress to break up big tech. Paul Pelosi bought the dip, and then the bills died in their tracks.
Wow.
And then, of course, the stock goes up. Yeah. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's not an emergent phenomenon.
Didn't just introduce the Pelosi Act to stop
insider trading?
I've seen that.
But here, ultimately, what I think is this: CEO of a Fortune 500 company, he's trying to sell as many vaccines as possible. He lobbies the government, give us a guaranteed contract, and the government says, "Let's talk." You're going to get lobbyists.
Let's talk.
Right. They're going to. This came out of the Veritas thing just now. The guy was saying basically, I think this came out of the Veritas thing. You think these government employees who are regulating big pharma are going to be mean to them when they're expecting a job afterwards?
Right.
The lobbyist doesn't just say, "I'll donate to your campaign." He says, "We're big fans of the work you do. We know you believe in helping people of the world. Maybe once you're, when you retire." We could talk about a nice package. Maybe there's a fit for you.
Come on the board.
Maybe a couple $1 million a year salary. If, of course, we think that you actually care about this stuff.
Yeah.
What ends up happening then is the guy who takes over this company, this big pharma company, he's not inducted into a conspiracy. He doesn't go to a meeting and they sit him down and they make him walk through paddles and he gets V'd in or whatever. He's a guy who gets to the company and he's told, hey, if you want to make that $1 billion this year and get your $25 million bonus, we got to sell more product. Is there a way we can get the government, the biggest buyer, to buy as much as possible? Let's send the lobbyists to convince them mandates are the way to go.
Yeah.
And then you get these things.
So you're a communist.
Me? What do you mean? I jokingly
you just basically said that this is, capitalist greed.
That's corporatism.
Yeah, that's
That's
not.
So it's corporate greed.
I don't know if
you said this is about making money.
I called it an emergent
phenomenon. We got to move products.
Isn't it corporate fascism?
No. Hold on. This is important. I don't know if greed is the word used to describe it. That's why I say it's an emergent phenomenon, right?
Because it's power too.
Well, look at it this way.
Right?
It's
because you said bonus. Bonuses. There's a financial incentive there.
But it's not the human machine. It's beyond the human machine. That is
the lizard man.
No. Timcast.com is a company.
Yeah.
Timcast.com needs a certain amount of money every week to maintain this company.
Right.
The person who is trying to maximize Timcast product isn't thinking, I want
to enrich myself.
He's thinking,
I need to meet these deadlines and KPIs.
Exactly.
So in order to do that and do my job, I might need to call somebody in government.
So you get big pharma, and it's not necessarily the CEO saying, I want to make $1 billion for myself.
Yeah.
But the bonus plays a role. Obviously, I mentioned that. A lot of it is the guy saying, look, we're looking at a down forecast. Our stock's going to take a hit. The shareholders are going to get pissed.
Yeah.
We got to figure out a revenue stream. And someone says, look, this COVID thing, there's talk of mandates. We should be on that 100%. It's the right thing for the people, and it'll help us secure contracts to keep the company running.
Yeah. And then Tristan walks in and he goes, I got a great idea. What we're going to do is we're going to create a whole bunch of multivariant mutant viruses, and then we can sell more vaccines.
It is how many grains of sand make a heap, is the banality of evil. It is people like him who are saying they're justifying it to themselves. But you know what? The reality is some of these people know what they're doing is evil. They know they are cogs in a machine that is destructive. But my point ultimately is when it comes to the entirety of the system as it's orchestrated, I do not believe there is a singular group of people or individual who's sitting there saying, twirling his mustache, being like, here's how we're going to take over the world. People come and go. It's a monster. It's an amorphous blob empowered by all of the different people who say, look, I'm not an avalanche. I'm just a snowflake. Avalanche was coming long before I got here. That's what I see. The avalanche doesn't blame itself. The snowflake doesn't blame itself for the avalanche. But each and every time some global leader or some powerful executive joins in these meetings and they say, two things happen: the ideological pressure and the economic pressure. One, how do I meet my deadlines to make sure my company doesn't fail because the shareholders, the employees are counting on me? Government mandated contracts. Two is the ideological pressure. You ever hear that story?
So let me ask you a question.
Look, real quick. Let me just, I'll finish this point. You ever hear that story they did where they put a bunch of chimps in a room? They put a ladder in the middle of the room with fruit on top. Chimp walks over, there's 5 chimps. Climbs the ladder, fire hose comes out, sprays them. All the chimps get sprayed down. Ah! Chimp tries to climb the ladder again, boom, they all get sprayed down. They learn, stay away from that ladder. They take one chimp out, they put one chimp in. New chimp is looking around like, what am I doing in here? Walks over to the ladder. The other chimps run up, grab him, and throw him down and start beating him up because he's going to get us sprayed.
Right.
One by one, they replace all the old chimps. Now they got 5 chimps who have never been sprayed with the fire hose. Any one of them goes near that ladder, they get beat up. Why? That's the way we do things.
Yeah.
That's, I think, a large component of the ideological capture that happens with people at the top.
So you're saying that there's this corporate fascism phenomenon that you mentioned, right? And I don't want to dispute that. But who killed JFK?
CIA?
Uncle Hotep?
Tucker just said it was Charlie.
He said it was the CIA,
That's
didn't
what
he?
Tucker said. Yeah.
That's what Tucker said?
Yeah.
Charlie.
Wow.
He then went on to say, didn't he say that they went after Nixon too because he was trying to figure out who killed JFK? Tucker's been going off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think he knew there was something in the files or something like that.
So how does all that tie in, right? If we got the corporate thing happening, Tim Pool's phenomenon, why is the CIA and all these other groups involved, and are they part of that corporate thing, or are these?
It's not just corporate; it's government power. So here's what happens: why does the CIA get formed? It's my fear is that people ascribe to conspiracy that which is an emergent human phenomenon, which is dangerous, that we need to recognize. The power coalesces. So you get. The FBI, I think, what did the FBI start as? I forgot. I did this whole thing researching it. Before was the FBI was called something else.
Right.
Look at what it is today.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, people don't start these things intending for them to become monsters.
Yeah.
But they do.
So you think there's people like Strzok maybe in position of power who are abusing this power?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you look at it,
I think what I mean to say is there are people there's we'll call it the superliminal, the liminal, and the subliminal. As the Simpsons joke reference. There are people who know they're bad people and want power, but I think there's not that many of them. There's a lot, and you don't need that many in positions of power to get an evil group of people destroying the world. You then have people who know that what they're doing is kind of bad, but they think, I'm more powerful here for good, even though. So I remember hearing about like the CEO of Shell or something telling activists, I want to save the world too. I'm more effective as the CEO in doing good. So they recognize in their own mind, bad things are happening because of what I do, but I'm trying. And then you have the people who are totally oblivious, who are like, everybody get on the freight car. I got no idea why you're going there or where you're going there, but I'm going to make sure you do.
Yeah.
And they're contributing to that evil.
Oh, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane, bro. So I'm trying to put all this pieces together. You don't think that there's a board table of Illuminati that are making decisions behind the scenes?
The answer to that question is...
Do you think they got a group chat and they say, hey, what are we going to do now?
They're on top.
No, but hold on. The answer to that is half yes.
Okay.
Of course, there's a board meeting where powerful, rich people are meeting up. But there's no induction. There's no name.
You know how they always throw out the name like Rockefellers. And
Yeah, of course.
Rothschild.
But that just means rich people and wealthy families, and those rich families have changed. You now have Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post. He wants to sell it.
So is he
actually.
an Illuminati?
If you're saying Illuminati as in a nebulous idea of the powerful elites who control the planet,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
Oh, Jeff Bezos is an Illuminati. Okay. What about Elon Musk?
I would say yes.
So we have Bill Gates. I think we could throw him in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, Bezos. Is Zuckerberg in there?
Yeah.
What about Jack Dorsey?
Jack Dorsey, I'd say yes, absolutely.
Really, even after?
But you got to understand, there's not a membership list. If
Right.
we're using Illuminati as a vague term to represent the most powerful people in the world
Okay.
who meet with each other and decide how to move their chessboard pieces, of course all these people are playing the game.
Are there good guys and bad guys?
Yes.
Yes. Elon Musk is in an interesting position.
Is he a good guy or a bad guy?
That's tough to say. He's got factories in China. He's defended China. He's posted good things about the Chinese Communist Party. But in the United States, he says good things about freedom. He pushes back. He, on the establishment, he calls out Democrats. So a lot of people in the U.S. are cheering free speech, yay. But what about his business dealings in China?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to sit here and defend the Chinese Communist Party, but Elon Musk has said nice things about them. Then you got to look. Powerful people, whether they intend to or not, make big moves.
Yeah.
Big moves.
Yeah.
So when I say Zuckerberg, Gates, what I'm basically saying is at the cream of the crop, the top of the top, these people, birds of a feather, flock together. They're going to hang out. They're going to have similar ideas and similar experiences. They may not completely agree, but they can move mountains. So when we see big moves happening, people on the bottom say it's a conspiracy, they're plotting, and it's like, technically that's true.
Right.
Wealthy, powerful, and corporate and government elites are meeting together, are planning things together, but it's not like they wear dark robes and draw pentagrams on the ground and then paddle each other to induct them into this Illuminati.
While they're making the decisions, that kind of party happens after the decisions are made.
And don't get me wrong, there are those weird parties that happen.
That's what I mean.
What I'm saying is there may be groups that go to like Bohemian Grove, do that weird Moloch stuff,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you've heard of. But the people, the Davos group people, things like that, I know people who have gone to the World Economic Forum. They do not regularly go to board meetings. They go once a year to hear what other people have to say, share their ideas. But if you get 2,000 corporate elites and government elites, and they all start sharing their ideas together, it starts to come together. Their cycles start to synchronize, if you know what I mean.
You know who some people say is an Illuminati?
Who?
Tim Pool.
In the Illuminati.
Yeah, they say you're part of this group of evil decision makers. Are you in the Illuminati, Tim Pool? I'm putting you on the spot right now.
No, I'm not. I guess, unfortunately.
I was gonna say,
I thought I was about to ask you, well, can I get in?
No. Interesting things happening with the decentralization of power and media and resources. So now you're ending up with companies that probably, much to the chagrin of these powerful elites who want to control things, you're getting people like us who are finding ways to navigate through the cracks and build power that is very hard for them to deal with.
So you're building like an alt Illuminati.
Yeah, well, no, but maybe we should.
Okay.
I did say this on the show before. I was like, can't we do the opposite? Can't we have like a group of activists come together for meritocracy, liberty, personal freedom, personal responsibility, and then start like making books and giving them to schools and doing stuff like that? You know what I mean?
Well, Hotep Nation, that's what we're involved with, homeschooling.
Well, I believe in homeschooling, but I'm saying make the Hotep book and get it in schools,
You're talking about counter propaganda.
or just literally propaganda.
Counter-revolutionary activities.
Freedom propaganda.
Yeah. I like that idea.
You guys make the books, go to schools, and then tell the schools, like, you're not racist, are you? You're not? Okay, then put our book in your curriculum, and the book will be like freedom, liberty, personal responsibility.
Well, Uncle Hotep, what would you put in a book if we were to put a book out and say, this is the most important thing we want to tell people or teach children, you know, especially with CRT, drag story time right now. What would you put in a book?
What would I put in a book?
Yeah, like what would be, the one thing you think children need to be taught to, because I look at it as like counter Marxism, right? Because that's really what's
counter-revolutionary. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're talking my language.
yeah.
You know what they need to put in it? The Grifter Hall of Fame. Hotep Jesus, number 1. There it goes.
Tomorrow.
Right there.
The Grifties.com.
Greatest
right?
grifter of all time.
Vote for me, Grifties.com.
Do you nominate yourself? You're like, I have to be on this list.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
I'm
love
in the
that.
site. I got access. Of course I nominated myself. I'm trying to win. I think I just got passed by Dan, can you pull it up? Grifties.com. Can you pull up who's winning right now?
I can.
Pull that up and
What is it,
tell us.
thegriffties.com?
Yeah, Grifties.com. Grifties. No, take out the. It's just Grifties.
Oh, it's no the.
No, the. Yeah. Put that up there. Let's see who's winning right now.
Eliza Blue.
No, that's the newest.
Oh, that's the newest nominee. Okay. Number 14. though. Eliza Blue at 14.
You're number 2.
You're number 2. Whoa.
I'm number
Yes, you are.
Shut up, Okosa.
Who's Chile De Castro?
I don't know.
The Young Turks number 5. I'm impressed.
Who?
Oh no, it says, what is that? It says newest nominees number 5. What does that mean?
I think-
Oh, because they're groups. Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's groups too.
Yeah, okay, groups.
Oh, wow.
Hotep Nation. Hotep's been told you. You guys are trying. The Grifties is number 1.
Let's go.
That's a good one. Greta, look at this. Greta Thunberg's
You're
number
a bigger
3.
Grifter than Greta. That's
Damn.
impressive.
Adam
Uncle
Hotep.
higher than
Hotep, Greta
Greta.
Hotep with it. Alex Stein number 9, Crowder number 10, Eliza Blue is there at number 14 as a new entry. Volodymyr Zelensky at 12. Michael Rappaport's in there.
Gruesome news.
Look at that. All right.
Unk Shades. Wow.
I was on there at one point. I was pretty high up there, but I guess I got knocked off.
You got to nominate Tim Pool. Nominate Tim Pool right now on Grifties.com.
I don't know if I deserve it, to be honest.
Absolutely you do. You deserve it because I'm able to grift off of you. You are the grift god.
You make grifting capable or possible for a lot of people.
Well, you know.
You've got to be acknowledged for your contribution.
The grift
to
amplification.
Grift culture.
The grift economy.
Maybe next year I might be able to make it.
I do think, I got to be honest, I don't know if you should be number 2.
Why? I should be number 1, right?
No, I don't know if you should be on the list at all.
Why?
Because I think making the Grifties and talking about it is not grifting. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.